Mangana ni malelepo vukenjani. Class, welcome to Africa Good Morning, your portal into Africa's potent stories. Today we unpack Guinea-Bissau's political standoff as President Umaro Sissoco Embalo refuses to step down, and the U.S. plans a controversial deportation to Eswatini. We also spotlight Ethiopia's massive Nile Dam launch, Congo's Ebola vaccination drive, and Sudan's acclaimed film Cotton Queen. In economic updates, Google faces $3.5 billion in a EU fine, while a report reveals Africa's lowest maternity leave payments. Plus, we cross to Zambia with Mike Sichula for updates on Edgar Lungu's burial dispute, corruption sentences, ABSA Marathon wins, and World Cup qualifiers. Watch Africa Good Morning on DStv 285, GOtv 25, 1up2.com, and NTV Africa on YouTube. You should keep in mind that ShopRite is currently running the promotion of a lifetime, celebrating 35 years. Every single week there's going to be 7 winners. Do pay attention to the details around you and do make sure you have a look at that QR code. So ShopRite turning 35. My name is Ashwin Betty. This is Africa Good Morning. We'll head into our top stories shortly.
Mornings just got better, Namibia. From the latest headlines to the hottest trends, we're bringing you the conversations that matter.
That's right. Bright minds, bold opinions, and a touch of morning magic. This is your daily dose of energy.
So grab a cup and join in on the conversation every weekday morning at 8 o'clock with Smell the Coffee, hosted by Diana Master and Aina Riza Quayo.
Let's get into the top stories on the 8th of September. Guinea-Bissau's President Umaro Sissoco Embalo has refused to step down after his term officially expired at midnight on Thursday, sparking accusations of an illegal power grab from the opposition. Embalo insists he will continue serving until elections scheduled for November 23rd, where he is widely expected to seek a second term. The Constitutional Court earlier ruled his mandate would end on September 4th, despite the opposition insisting it is expired in February. Elections for a new parliament remain pending after the assembly was dissolved in 2023, adding to growing political tension. The small West African nation, which has suffered multiple coups since gaining independence, now faces fears of renewed instability and a potential constitutional crisis. A mediation mission by a regional West African bloc was sent in March, but withdrew abruptly after alleging threats of expulsion from Embalo's government. The prolonged deadlock deepens uncertainty as Guinea-Bissau heads toward elections, with the opposition refusing to recognize Embalo's authority amid rising concerns over governance and security in the volatile nation. Moving on. The Trump administration has informed Salvadorian national Quilma Abrego Garcia that he could now be deported to Eswatini, marking the 4th proposed destination in his long-running immigration saga. Initially mistakenly deported to El Salvador in March, Garcia was later returned to the U.S. to face human smuggling charges, which he denies, alongside accusations of MS-13 gang affiliation. Last month, plans to deport him to Uganda were changed after Garcia raised fears of persecution, prompting the U.S. to select Eswatini instead, despite him having no ties to the country. Eswatini, one of the world's last remaining absolute monarchies led by King Mswati III, has already received 5 deportees from the U.S. The move has raised concerns locally that the small Southern African nation is becoming a dumping ground for alleged criminal illegal aliens. While U.S. officials have not confirmed financial arrangements, analysts suggest Eswatini could be safeguarding trade ties, particularly its sugar exports, as the U.S. remains one of its key markets amid growing scrutiny over the deportation policy. In our next story, Ethiopia is set to inaugurate the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, G-E-R-D, one of the world's largest hydroelectric projects, marking a defining moment in its decades-long water dispute with Egypt. Built on the Blue Nile at a cost of $5 billion, the dam has ignited a wave of nationalism, uniting Ethiopians who funded construction through bonds and contributions since 2011. The GERD aims to meet Ethiopia's power needs and boost regional energy exports with plans to sell electricity to neighboring countries and beyond. However, Egypt fears reduced Nile water flow, warning of existential threat as the dam stores 64 billion cubic meters, exceeding Egypt's annual share of 55.5 billion. Diplomatic negotiations have stalled, with Ethiopia rejecting colonial-era agreements granting Egypt control over Nile waters. While experts rule out military conflict, concerns remain over potential environmental risks, seismic activity, and regional instability. For Ethiopia, the dam symbolizes sovereignty and progress, while for Egypt, it deepens anxieties over water scarcity as it races to develop alternative sources and mitigate looming shortages. Moving on. The Democratic Republic of Congo has initiated an Ebola vaccination campaign following a resurgence of cases in the eastern part of the country. Health authorities confirmed 28 suspected infections and 19 related deaths since August, prompting urgent action. The vaccinations target residents in North Kivu province, where previous outbreaks caused severe devastation. The World Health Organization has deployed medical teams and additional resources to assist in containing the spread. Authorities have urged residents to remain vigilant and seek immediate medical care if symptoms appear. Community awareness campaigns are also underway to combat misinformation and encourage cooperation with health officials. The government emphasized that early intervention is critical to preventing the outbreak from escalating into a wider public health emergency. Efforts are being coordinated with local leaders to ensure access to affected areas, while neighboring countries have increased surveillance to reduce cross-border risks. The vaccination program is expected to expand as more doses become available in the coming weeks. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning, but we do have one from the entertainment sector as we wrap up this segment. Susanna Migani's debut feature, Cotton Queen, had its world premiere at the 82nd Venice International Film Festival in the International Critics Week section, where it was warmly received. The Sudanese feminist drama tells the coming-of-age story of Nafisa, a teenage girl growing up in a rural village built on generations of cotton farming. Guided by her grandmother Al-Sit, the community's matriarch, Nafisa learned stories of resistance against British colonizers while navigating the tension between tradition and modernity. When a young entrepreneur introduces genetically modified cotton, Nafisa is drawn into a struggle over her village's future, discovering her voice and stepping into a transformative role. Megani highlighted the deep historical and emotional symbolism of cotton, noting its links to colonial exploitation and community resilience. Due to the ongoing war in Sudan, filming took place in Egypt, where many Sudanese crew members worked as refugees, creating additional emotional and logistical challenges. Despite the difficulties, Mergani expressed pride in presenting a Sudanese story that highlights culture and identity, offering a narrative beyond conflict and hardship. Shortly, we'll be joined by Mike Sichula as he delivers the Zambia report. But prior to that, it's the weather. This is Africa. Good morning, and it's time for us to cross the border to Zambia as we talk to the one and only Mike Sichula delivering the Zambia report. Mike, Udibanji.
Muribanji, Africa. Good morning, our dear viewers.
Bueno, Mike. Now, finally, talks have resumed on Edgar Lungu's burial dispute. Do take us into that, Mike.
Yes, this is what is happening as from yesterday with reports that we received. Discussions between the Zambian government and the Lungu family are underway. This is coming 3 months after Mr. Edgar Lungu, who is Zambia's 6th president, passed away in South Africa on the 5th of June 2025. So with the information that has come, it indicates that the two parties want to resolve the outstanding issues. The first time the two parties met, they had agreed that Mr. Lungu's remains should be repatriated to Zambia, but there were some of the unrealistic or demands that were made by the Lungu family, one which demanded that Mr. President Hakainde Hichilema should not be anywhere near the body of the late, something that we are hoping under these discussions an amicable solution will be attained. Meanwhile, government has been very strong on this matter because the only person who's been mandated to speak on this matter is the Secretary to Cabinet, Mr. Patrick Kangwa. So any member of the government who has spoken on this matter has been, one of them is there's a director in the Ministry of Technology who spoke on this matter on his social media platforms. Because the government is very strict and tough, this member of the civil public service was suspended because he was told not to speak. The only person to speak is the Secretary to Cabinet, Mr. Patrick Kangwa, who is representing government in these discussions. However, despite the talks between the government and the Lungu family underway, the matter in the South African Pretorian Court, where the Lungu family had applied for leave to apply, is coming up today. It is expected that the court would decide whether the appeal that was made by the Lungu family challenging the judgment which ordered that the remains of Mr. Lungu be repatriated to Zambia will be given attention by the court. And we are hoping that maybe something would come up before the appeal, as the two parties have agreed to settle this matter out of court. So it is a wait and see. So there in the picture is Mr. Patrick Kangwa, who is representing the Zambian government and is the only one mandated to speak on this matter. Anyone who speaks aside him, that person is sanctioned by the government.
All right, Mike, moving on to the next story. Former Minister of Foreign Affairs Joseph Malanji and former Secretary to the Treasury Fredson Yamba have both been sentenced to prison for corrupt practices. Mike, do correct me if I'm wrong, but these ministers were part of the PF government led by Edgar Lungu?
Yes, Mr. Joseph Malanji, a former member of parliament, also a former minister, foreign affairs minister, was in the previous administration led by late President Edgar Lungu. So on your right there is Mr. Fredson Yamba, who was the secretary to the cabinet. And right in the middle there behind him is Mr. Joseph Malanji at the Magistrate Court in Lusaka. So what has happened is that Mr. Joseph Malanji was found guilty of possessing 2 helicopters valued at 1.4 million United States dollars and 3 houses. So those are the helicopters that he was found in possession with. And those helicopters, the government is seeking an order that they must be forfeited to the state. So he was jailed for 4 years with hard labor. Mr. Fredson Nyamba, on the other hand, was found guilty of willful failure. That's him in the picture. He was found guilty of willful failure to follow procedure relating to the purchase of a Zambian property in Turkey. He has been jailed 3 years with hard labor. So those are the two. So this matter has attracted public condemnation because the money involved is about 11 million United States dollars. According to information that was presented before the court, Mr. Joseph Malanji, on your right, did withdraw 11 million United States dollars in Turkey, and he came with that money to Zambia using the presidential Challenger jet. A matter that has attracted condemnation as to how did a person who is a member of a cabinet use a presidential jet to fly from Turkey into Zambia, 11 million United States dollars. And when he reached Zambia, he started depositing $100,000 every day into the account for at least 2 weeks. So this is something that the Patriotic Front administration needs to speak to it positively, because in as far as Zambians are concerned, they are looking at the Patriotic Front administration to have been a government that was corrupt, and they were stealing public resources.
Now, Mike, Zimbabwean Prosper Mutwira won the 2025 ABSA Marathon in Zambia. And I have to say, Mike, this is on the back of the last significant victory of a Zimbabwean in Zambia being me paying my lobola last year.
Wow, we're adding on what Zimbabwe is getting from Zambia and what you also paid to Zambia through Lower. So what happened is that Mr. Prosper Matuira clocked 2 hours, 25 minutes and 5 seconds to win 50,000 kwacha. He finished ahead of Zambia's Bernard Mpundu. So for the Zimbabwean, this is the second time he is winning the ABSA Marathon. He first won the ABSA Marathon in 2023. Then on the other hand, in the 21.1 kilometer race, another Zimbabwean won. Weni Kambondi came first with a time of 1 hour, 5 minutes and 40 seconds. So the ABSA Marathon attracted 7,500 participants within Zambia and outside Zambia. And also one of the positives about this event, the organizers of the ABSA managed to rake about 4.5 million kwacha, and also the World Athletics have recognized the ABSA with a bronze category. So meaning the ABSA Marathon is now recognized by the World Athletics, such that it will now be on the world map and also be one of the events that athletes are going to look forward to, because it has been recognized globally. So it is an event that also saw a number of Zambian musicians take to the running track, a number of people who are involved in all sorts of advocacy took to the track, and it was an event that was memorable and also interesting to watch.
All right, Mike, we end with some more sport as Zambia is facing Morocco in a crucial World Cup qualifier.
Well, for Morocco, this is not so crucial, unless for bragging, where they just do not want to end the World Cup qualifiers with a loss, because to them they have qualified for the 2026 World Cup. They qualified on Friday after they beat Niger 5-0 in Morocco, and they became the first African country to qualify for the World Cup. For Zambia on 6 points in Group B, they are hoping that if they can get a good result against the Atlas Lions, they can stand a chance to be among the top 4 best finishers who can qualify via the playoffs. So this match has attracted a good turnout from the Zambians because it will be for the first time that sports icon Kadusha Bwalia will be in attendance because after he lost to past president Mr. Andrew Kamanga, he was not anywhere coming to the Zambian football scene to give solidarity. But on this match with the new president of the first president, Mr. Keith Mwemba, Karusha Walia was yesterday seen at the Levi Manawasa Stadium giving moral support to the team. And also this match is bringing Fashkala back to the national team after a fallout with Israeli coach Avraham Grant. For the minister, for the sports, for the first president, he is saying soccer fans should be realistic by not demanding too much from the Chipolopolo boys because qualifying for the World Cup may not be attainable. They need to start focusing on the 2030 World Cup. But a number of soccer fans have condemned Mr. Mwemba for saying what he said because they believe football can be won and also Zambia can still qualify with a good result via the playoffs. So the match will be kicking off at 15 hours at Ndola's Levi Manawasa Stadium today.
Done. Thank you very much, Mike, for delivering the Zambia report as you do so well. And we'll certainly be looking forward to some updates with regards to particularly the Edgar Lungu burial story.
Definitely, my eyes and my ears are on the ground to ensure that our viewers on Africa Good Morning do not miss out on any latest information. Thank you very much, Africa Good Morning, to our dear viewers.
Africa Good Morning, indeed. We end with this story. A recent comparison of maternity leave pay across African nations highlights significant disparities, revealing the lowest paying countries. South Africa ranks at the bottom, providing no monetary compensation for maternity leave, while Somalia follows with only $2 and Zimbabwe with $5. The Democratic Republic of Congo offers $57, while Burundi provides $72, and Sudan grants $105. In Central Africa, the Central African Republic pays $135, Chad $164, and Mozambique slightly higher at $165. Madagascar leads among the 10 listed nations with $275 in maternity benefits. These figures underline major inequalities in workplace support for mothers across the continent. The gap between the highest and lowest paying countries demonstrates varied governmental approaches to parental welfare, potentially impacting women's financial stability during maternity periods. While some countries have made minimal efforts to provide financial relief, others still offer little to no support, leaving many working mothers vulnerable. The ranking sheds light on the urgent need for more balanced and inclusive maternity policies across Africa, especially in countries where zero or extremely low compensation remains the norm. Those have been our stories on Africa Good Morning. Thank you for joining us on DStv 285, GOtv 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTV Africa on YouTube. Keeping in mind, if you go to oneup2.com, if you click NTV Africa, you have access to all the NTV Africa shows. If you click Echo, you have access to not just Africa Good Morning, NTV Africa shows, all NTV programming at your own time. So do go to oneup2.com and Echo, where prime time is anytime. From me, Ashwin Bedi, I look forward to coming back tomorrow as Talent Gore joins us delivering the Zimbabwe report. And of course, as always, we will be bringing you the top headlines from broader Africa. From me and the Africa Good Morning team, Sweraja Kanaka.